G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an AM-17. This is a Russian-made rifle, really modernized. It was designed back in 2015 and adopted into the military of the Russian variety in 2018. So this is a short-barreled rifle that is poised to replace the AK-74U. And there's also an AMB in this mod, which you can change by giving it this suppressed barrel, which is your AS-Vel replacement. The AMBs in real life, they fire a different cartridge. Instead of this intermediate rifle cartridge of 5.45, it fires the 9x39, which is the same bullets as the AS-Vel. All of these different calibers have different types of magazines to install with them, but that's basically the gist of it. Very, very modernized thing. Now, if you want to use this thing suppressed at all, always use the AMB barrel, because if you're using this AM-17 barrel and decide to throw a suppressor on the muzzle, you'll get a big old suppressor penalty to your range, which is no good. 113 range is very close. Granted, it is a short-barreled rifle, so I suppose that makes sense. This thing features custom sounds and animations, as you'd expect any good standalone weapon mod to have. So let's get into it. First of all, we've got the receivers. You've got the basic semi-auto and automatic receiver. If you look closely, the fire selector is pivoting, so there's a little bit of a cool attention to detail there. If you scroll down, the strongest ones you can get is the powerful auto receiver and a powerful semi-automatic receiver, so it doesn't look like there's any advanced versions or advanced receivers for semi-auto power, but you know, they make it pretty obvious which one is the best hit. So we'll chuck on the powerful auto receiver and we'll move over to the barrel. We're going to make this one an AMB. Ignore the fire rate boost to 407. That's just a visual bug. Don't worry about it. And we'll change the caliber to 9x39. And the magazine, we can go from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, up to 65 in this big old drum. So why not? So lots of sustained firepower. And that will be firing from Monday to Sunday and have enough bullets left over to liberate Ukraine. Next, we've got the M-Bus iron sights. This is taking the iron sight slot, but that's what we're using. There's also glowing versions of that, which I think look pretty neat. You can just see a little bit of a red dot on top of that. And there's also makeshift stuff, which, why would you? Maybe to help it suit in with the full aesthetic a bit. Little bit of a makeshift sight on that. But you can choose a little bit more. That's an American sight. I think that one is too. Well, I'm going to choose that one because that's a really good red dot sight, but there's plenty of things to choose from. All your modern tactical stuff here, right here, it can be installed on top of this with the Picatinny rail, which is built right into it because, you know, at this day and age, the Russians are realizing, maybe these Western people have some pretty good ideas about putting Picatinny rails under their guns and not having the zero bust itself after firing a few rounds to allow our rifles to actually put that on in a modular fashion. So, you know, they're catching on slightly, slowly, but they're getting there. So there's a bunch of Russian sites too. I don't know why it's second on the list or lower down on the list than all of the American one. There's also this gigantic scope, which we'll check out. Also, the weapon is very glossy. It looks like it's just been polished. Next, these backup iron sights can be removed if you feel like it. It doesn't look like it really does anything stat-wise, but if you want them to be there or don't want them to be there, you can go any which way. Next, you've got the optic position. You can put it anywhere along this vast tactical Picatinny rail, including clipping over those iron sights, but if you want to remove those, then that'll all be fine. I think in its neutral position, it should be good enough, and you can change the stocks. You can have a plastic stock, it folded around, adding to the compact nature of this rifle. You can have a fold around stock, also that clips into the drum, so that's funny. And you can also have a rubber pad, which maybe controls recoil, but there's no indication that it actually might do that. But at the bare minimum, it'll be slightly more comfortable to utilize. And on the side rails, you can have a flashlight on the side or a laser pointer unit, which looks like that. Why not? Next, we've got the lower rail, which you can have a flashlight, again, if you want, or some sort of foregrip, including Magpul ones, which I'm fairly certain is an American brand. There's also this side-angled grip like that, which might be useful, say, if you've got a drum, and you don't have to bring your hand all the way around that drum to hold onto that foregrip. So there you go, that's pretty neat. Okay, I was getting late, so I just changed it to 10 AM. Next, we've got the laser option, so you can have the laser off, which I believe will give you a little bit of a dot at the end. You can have the laser only, which you'll only have that tactical laser beaming through the night. Next, you've got the laser and spot off, laser and spot on. So this is everything. You've got the laser and the spot at the end of your aim to figure out exactly what you are shooting at. And there's the spot right there. Let's go for both laser and spot. And you can have a different weapon bash. So you can have this thing bashing with the weapon itself. It's probably fragile because it's mostly made out of polymer, but you can hit stuff with it. But if you want to use a combat knife slash, you need the OTS-04 combat knife and to do that, which I don't know if is included in this mod. I feel like it is, so maybe we'll take a quick look at that a little bit later on. But we'll keep weapon bash on this one. Maybe get a super close quarters version of this thing and have a cool knife slash instead of the weapon bash. Your inertia thing is just how much the weapon sways in your hands while you're in first person. So Style 2 is like all the way up there, Style 1 is in the middle, and Standard is just your standard vanilla game sort of stuff. So I'm going to leave that as is, and you've got a damage slider as well, which is interesting because it's actually gated at levels, so you won't be able to get to this level 100 unless you get to level 55 on your character. So I think that's kind of interesting, but we won't be touching those at all. And of course, we can have a weathered material, make it feel more realistic, or completely restored, which makes it look a little bit cleaner, I guess. Why not? We can look after our weapons. We're not idiots. Next, we've got a legendary effect provided by legendary modification, and with a powerful auto receiver, 154 damage. At one point I changed it. If you're watching closely on the weapon card there, you probably noticed it, but you get the idea. Anyways, that's our AMB-17. I'm going to make an AM-17 and a couple other things just to fulfill different roles, and we'll see how we go. Also, I've just noticed that the 9x39 caliber chambers the 7.62 Nuka World rounds because reasons. The weapon is not injected onto the level list, so here's a trick that Lily told Iris. Haha, stupid robot. I'll take that. And then do this. Robbery. The AM-17 is obtainable in Port Boston, so the closest location to this place would be the Shamrock Tap House. Just go outside to the pier area here, and you'll find this boat. For reference, you've got the little boy who's looking at the monster in the ocean, the Chinese spy submarine. If you found him, you're in the right place. So what you want to do is jump your way over into this boat, and you'll find some unnamed gunner. He's got the AM-17 and 60 bullets for your trouble, so you can feed this thing at least for a little bit before you have to worry about using your own stocks of ammunition. And then you can craft them at a chemistry workbench. It requires 2 AM-17s to make one, according to this, which is very confusing. So I'll not push the button. And also there's options for creating the knife, which this one requires the knife. That's weird. And this one is different. You gotta find a packed OTS-04 combat knife to find that. So let's try to track down where that is. Okay, as it turns out, the knife was there as well, but it was very well camouflaged on the black rubber mat. So there you go, we've found the knife, nobody panic. The knife in question doing 216 damage with no mods applied, which is pretty cool, I guess. For maintenance on your knife to give it up to plus 150% damage, why not? Okay, so I figured out what the hell is going on with this crafting. It literally multiplies the weapons. It requires one to make, but it gives you 2. Observe. I don't see a problem with that if you don't. Welcome back to the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our AMB-17 in first person. Note the jiggle physics on the sling mount there, just under the charging handle. Isn't that nice? Here's the bash animation. It blew up the car instantly, so I feel like we don't have to worry about this weapon's flimsiness. And there's what the recoil is like. I'm just gonna let that go, and it's pretty much straight up, so pull down and you'll be quite alright. There's barely any recoil to fight to speak of, so I don't know, I feel like we're going to have a pretty good time with this thing. And here's the thing about a lot of modern firearms. A lot of them I've used or seen in other games before using them in Fallout 4, but this one's a little bit different. I've never heard of this weapon until I saw this mod pop up on the Nexus, so this is a first impression done. with a Fallout weapon mod. So let's see what those Ruskies have been up to whilst I've not been paying attention to current affairs and everything. And there's the ejection port opening, very dynamic like, so that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the other ones that I made. This one is sniper status, and it's a see-through scope, which means tunnel vision doesn't really quite explain it, but not much recoil to speak of, which is nice. The visual recoil is not going to throw you off a little bit. You can fire this thing pretty much as fast as you can pull a trigger, so if you've got a target giant enough to fill your entire screen, then, well, you're gonna be laughing now, aren't ya? This one right here is a AM-18. It's firing the 7.62 cartridges, and I took the stock off because I'm crazy. But even still, it's a highly controllable weapon, so I can only imagine there's some crazy Chris Vector recoil control system going on that the Russians have stuffed into this thing. Perhaps in the folded stock, there's got some like reverse thrusters on that to keep the weapon nice and balanced. Okay, I'm taking the piss, but still, fairly controllable for a stockless, full-powered rifle cartridge. And this one here, this is a proper AM-17 with the intermediate cartridge. I just gave it a big RPK magazine, give me 40, and it's also got that American ACOG scope because I like it. It's a cool-looking scope. Anyways, let's begin, shall we? I haven't attached any muzzle slots to anything. They're just using the standard flash hiders because I don't want to compromise on range. It's already short-barreled enough with a less than ideal range stats. Hold up. We don't want to do this without AI detection on. They just kind of stood there and took it, and that wasn't very fun. Anyways, so let's begin. And just like I was talking about with the range, a headshot from this range, this far back, only doing 368. Now, as they come a little bit closer, we might find that our shots are going to be slightly more favorable, and that is a mosquito. Can I target the mosquito, please? First, you go down. And one of the benefits of having a slightly smaller magazine is that you'll actually get a crit bonus. So we'll try to capitalize on that a little bit. That second shot, we got 1,000 damage, which is pretty good. And we can do a little bit of hip fire here just to try to kill them. Okay, sniper status hasn't happened. No, it's not a go. But we've got a couple of sniper knockdowns there, so we've actually done pretty well out of that. So we could have done better, but still, we'll have a good time against these gunners. Like expected, it's a very easy weapon to control, and provided they're sitting nice and still for me, we can chain some good headshots together, and probably could have done that a little bit better, but I did get a little bit of bonus damage thanks to gun-fu, which was nice. But yeah, we should be chopping through these guys fairly easily. So I don't think for an endgame level, you have to touch all of that extra bonus damage on the sliders. I think it is quite alright how I've got it set up. Granted, I'm getting that extra 25% from Ace Operator, and whoops, that was meant to be a slide. Guess what I was playing earlier. Anyways, so yeah, we're doing a pretty good job at killing these guys. Granted, yes, suppressor, strongest rounds on this thing. So it's not like we're going to be, like, this is pretty much as powerful as it's going to get for a commando setup. And this thing, VATS-wise, is a 3-round burst. It's not too bad. If I can kill a gunner at sort of medium range, sort of pushing on what this thing's effective range is in one VATS burst, I'm going to say that's pretty good. Next, we'll use our 7.62 shooting thing. Hear this thing a little bit louder. Nice little bloody mess kill there. Chained that explosion of the corpse onto his friend as he exploded, which is nice. Even with that Ace Operator, this thing, its rate of fire and controllability is going to make it a very easy weapon to control and, you know, stay on target. So even the gunners, as they're dancing around, you can out-tank all of these pricks, especially when you get a cheeky little level up there. The trick is finding where the bullets will actually go through. There we go. Bit of VATS penetrator gets that job done nice and quickly, and may as well utilize our scoped version here. We'll put a little bit of distance on. Granted, the scope on this thing might not be the most effective term, but if you can pull the trigger as fast as this, then you can have a rate of fire to match. It pretty much fires like a Jacob's gun from Borderlands, just as fast as you can pull the trigger, which is great for DPS, great for knocking people down as well. So I'm pleased to see that the shorter scope in the ACOG is capable of knocking targets down like that, even though it is sort of ludicrous to be able to do it quite like this. Where you going, mate? Say if I don't want both of these guys shooting me at one time, I'll just knock one down and continue firing at the other one whilst I do that, whilst they're getting up and recovering from their unfortunate fall. Didn't even get a chance to get back up before I swept the crosshair back onto her head and opened fire on her again. So obviously the damage isn't quite as impressive, but we should be getting a little bit of extra armor penetration thanks to the Rifleman perks. So that works out pretty well. Let's go even more close quarters crazy. So this is the super mega ultra well maintained knife. It's as sharp as anything. Here, I haven't used VAFs with a melee weapon yet, so well, that guy's got an invisible head. His sunglasses, however, not as invisible. Now, I'm wondering is, wow, I'm fast. I'm really fast. Really, really fast. That must be Blitz doing the work. Oh, these guys can't touch me. I never realized how crazy VATS would be. And I hesitate to do this because I might launch myself halfway across the bloody map. Hopefully that doesn't kill me with fall damage. Nope, that's fine. I do love how I'm moving so fast, but when it comes to falling, gravity's taking me down so much lower. Anyways, stabby, stabby, stabby. Hacking, whacking, and smacking, and all that. And with all of those crits out the way, we are done with this place. And the knife made a surprise appearance, but you didn't expect to see that one around. But there you have it. That there was many AMBs, AM-17s, 18s, 19s, 21s, and 37s, but not actually those ones. But a very easy to control rifle, allows for very consistent and predictable aiming, which makes it really fun to use. And the damage is not too overpowering that it's going to trivialize the game, but it's not too weak to make it frustrating to shoot against particularly tanky targets. So I think this is probably one of the best executed mods that AnotherOne has put out. So really liking the stuff that I'm seeing so far. Okay, let's try a stealthy approach as much as we can get it. So from back here, about 200 damage, but if he comes a little bit closer, we can nail some easy headshots. We'll just reload this thing with quick hands, thank you. Want him to get close enough to get the full measure of damage. I saw 600s there. Okay, I think the time has come for full combat, but honestly, we've got his measure. And someone commented the other day about how I never, ever dodge his attack, so let's make a conscious effort to do that instead of tanking it. Ha, what do you think about that? Pretty cool, huh? What about this? Damn it. He was obviously not impressed by it, and roly-poly. And job done. Pretty cruisy run, like 90% of that damage was done by some good stealth command doing, and the vertibird didn't have to get involved. So I don't know, it'll probably take on a big lobster down there and get blown up by being hucked by the lobster's gonna huck too many loogies at it. It's gonna blow up because of it. It happens. Okay, so the plan here is stealth, rifleman, snipery, gunfu. So let's try to find some targets. Also, depending on your weapon sway, scoped aim in slow motion like this might get crazy. Okay, we didn't accomplish what we wanted to do there. We had to get a roll of Grim Reaper Sprint to get that to work properly, but no matter. We'll just shoot him repeatedly. Maybe add some criticals to the mix. We've got this magazine for a reason, damn it. Oh, okay, we're in danger. Maybe we'll go over to our other scope thing. Yeah, you don't like that, do you, mate? And since he's so readily available to go onto the ground, we may as well close the gap a little bit. Maybe get some cheap little headshots as he's dancing on the ground there. And hopefully by the time he's gotten back up, our reload will cover up. That was very, very close. There we go. Easy, easy headshots. 100 damage apiece, not too bad at all. And I suppose if we were to use this thing, say, in slow motion, we could get the firing to happen even faster still. Where the game's not controlling it, it's literally me. So in real time, I'll be able to shoot much faster. Not that it's going to be that much faster because the AP will go away in seconds, but still. Think about how fast that would be in real time as we shoot him in his nutsack. Yeah, cop that, Mr. Wendigo. Nice. A double tap. I learnt that one from Zombieland. Okay, next target. This time, knifey. First of all, we got to kill a bunch of these raiders. We'll pretend we're playing Fallout 76. And we're building up some adrenaline before a fight, right? You drinking coffee? That is a very un-raider-like thing to do. Or maybe it was whiskey, but in a coffee mug. You never quite know with these guys. I tell ya, you won't be doing that much anytime soon. Ever again, perhaps. Excuse me. Go away. There we go. There's the bash kill there. Did you see 600 damage? You maybe did. We're in Gaslight you, though. You definitely did. And we'll just examine what kind of damage we get out of this thing bashing. Or as soon as I mention the numbers, it'll stop producing them. But yeah, there's your bash animation with the knife. 666, and that man is now being possessed, I suppose. He blocked my bash. Not cool, man. And once this raid is gone, we got full adrenaline now, bros. We'll be able to take out this Violet Queen in no time. So let's do this a little bit differently. First of all, we stick and then we launch. Get nice and close with a grappling hook, and 7,200 damage. You saw that right. 7,200. So let's do that again, maybe. Okay, this time we might not have the option of grapple hooking. There we go. That'll get us nice and close. Really bending the rules of what would normally be possible in Fallout 4. That one's less damaging. And now, he's on us. I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Oh, he went over there. Nope, no loogies, please. Go away. And, we'll pop a reload, put you on the ground again, and then hit you. Eat this, and that, and that. I saw 4,000 damage on that bash. This is proper super lethal COD spec bashing. And let me just reload this thing. And a crit. Ooh, you don't want to come near. You don't want any of this, do ya? Sit down like a good crab. We just gotta roll those crits. If we roll the crits on the legs, we can do a really good job. Is that... Oh, we stagger him. Does that mean I could possibly just... Oh, that was a good crit. I could just sort of... No, I can't do that. Okay, let's try this again, but slightly different, yes? So, eat this. There we go. Don't exactly know how much damage. I wasn't really paying attention this time, but perhaps we'll go full knife this time. So, wait. There we go. Look how many stabbies we get with our AP. That's massive. Not so funny now, is it, Mr. Myler? No, didn't think so. Actually, it might be, as it turns out. I'm gonna need some miracle stabbies. Ah, Mysterious Stranger has showed up. That's completely worthless. Okay, I'm gonna go over here now. Regenerate some of this AP. Or I could do this. Charge at him and then... Ooh, not quite. Okay, Mysterious Stranger has shown up again. I get a lucky stagger. He steals my kill. That's it, you're gone. You're done, mate. You're fired. Stealing my kill. I think I may have gotten some hits back from that to get some crits. So there you go. If you want extra crits from Vafs, just turn on the Mysterious Stranger. He deserved it anyway if he's stealing your kills like that. So anyways, I think you get the idea. So that there was the AMB-17, 18, and AM-17. Not necessarily in that order. Just a few Russian rifles, and they're cool. I like them. As a first impression, seeing them in this weapon, what I'd like to say that I kind of like the gun. And I've looked up a review online, and apparently the dude who said it is like it's really controllable and ergonomic, very light because mostly made out of polymer. All of the important stuff is in the upper receiver, so you know maybe it's a big step ahead for the Russians who finally got over their AK disease. Although it's Kalashnikov who made it, so you know maybe they're finally moving on from that classic design. Also, did I mention it works with the classic holstered weapons? You probably saw that earlier, but worth mentioning it if you didn't or weren't paying attention. So a very good apparel item as well as weapon. So there you go. So if you're interested to see this weapon in your game, check out link in the description. You know, Iris is a follower mod. She's a child of Adam. She's crazy. She comes from a land called Far Harbor, a missionary sent to the Commonwealth. At least that's what she tells her. She's actually lying to you to cover a super secret mission. What's that? Who knows? Thank you very much for watching, guys.